What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today is July the 24th. I want to give you a quick pre-market update, go over some of the hot movers and what big one he's really focusing on today. Before we get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off with data points, we do have a couple big things to kind of watch for. So initial jobless claims is coming out at 7:30, same as the Chicago Fed National Activity Index. So that one does kind of signal growth, and 0 is that benchmark. Anything below that is slower growth. Anything above that is kind of greater than anticipated growth. So it's kind of a weird viewpoint on that. But aside from that, we do have a lot of big data all from July. So all coming from the S&P Global, Composite, Manufacturing Services. People are going to be really looking at this very closely because this would encumber tariffs. So no different than the manufacturing data that came out on Tuesday. People are going to be looking for reasons to panic. And potentially, if this does come in negative, you have Trump potentially having some free time to really complain, saying that this is essentially someone else's problem, or because Powell didn't cut rates, or for some reason. And this is a schedule, so pretty much after 9 a.m. he is free until 3 p.m. So anticipate him to be fairly active on social media. So hopefully these data points do come in better than anticipated. If not, the market might get rocked a little bit. But aside from that, market's also going to be digesting Google's earnings, which were relatively good, and Tesla's earnings I think will be impacting some specific sectors but not the broader market. Currently you do see the Dow down 0.32, S&P up 0.17, NASDAQ up 0.44. So overall shaping up to be a pretty good day. Starting off with SoFi, it is green, so piggybacking off the broader market. 13.85% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 150.29 million shares overall are being shorted. And on a technical standpoint, it's actually looking very good that it wants to really move higher. So 2167, where it's at so far in the morning, it's right now between this R1 and the pivot. So 2166 is going to be that key pivot. And this is something I mentioned in my video yesterday that is going to be a signal to potentially have a new 52-week high, maybe today, if not tomorrow, most likely. So let me know your general thoughts on that. So just watch for 2166. 2254 is going to be the next strong target / resistance, which ultimately is kind of a very close push to a new high. And then aside from that, if things do go sour based on the data, 2077 will be a strong support. Open Door seems to be getting a little bit of a revival today. It is up 10.48%. No news, no SEC filings associated to them. So yeah, things are heating up for them, but we'll have to wait and see whether that does stick or not, because shorts have been very, very active. So 33.56% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 219.92 million shares overall are being shorted. So this line right here that just goes crazy high, that is shorts being very reactive to the stock price. So whoever is shorting Open Door really wants to kind of knock it down once and for good. So even though it is up during the pre-market, anticipate shorts to be fairly active. Aside from that, with that 252, it is trading currently between this R2 and this R1. And I get it, for momentum and squeeze plays, you don't really pay attention to technicals all that much. But if you are looking for kind of good support levels to dollar cost average, day trade, 237 will be a key pivot for this one. Because if it does break below that, then the next one is going to be $1.78. So things that might be something that shorts try to target. But aside from that, 273 followed by 337 or 332 is going to be the next strong target / resistance points. Google is getting a lot of volume because of their earnings, so they're up 3.29%. Shorts are increasing though, which is rather odd, especially for a large cap stock and during the pre-market, in fact. But 91,000 shares are being increased. This isn't a squeeze play, so don't get me wrong. It's not crazy that they're increasing, but 0.71% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 76 million shares overall are being shorted. So even though it's less than 1% short interest, there's about $14.64 billion in shorts. So that's larger than many market caps. But aside from that, with at 197, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So $175 is going to be that next strong support. And then 203, that's going to be that key pivot. You really want to watch for it to ideally, best case scenario, close above. I don't think that there's enough for it to close above it today. Most likely, assuming all the data is good, it might run up close to that, but I think that might be a tomorrow type of problem. So just watch for 203 to be kind of that key pivot over the next couple of trading days. So City Office REIT CIO is up 24%, and that is because of they're getting acquired for $7 a share. This isn't a squeeze play. Shorts are returning, and most likely a lot of them will be returning, but the buyout price is $7. So no point talking about the support and resistance points because simply it's going to be at $7 a share. So there's a little bit of meat on the bone. And what I mean by that is currently it's at $6.92 during the pre-market. So if you buy it, essentially you are holding out for that $7 a share. So the max that you could earn is 8 cents. So for whatever reason, if things start to heat up and people actually do buy this, do not pay more than $7 because you will be instantly losing money. So again, if you care about 8 cents, which works out to be probably was at 0.1 or 0.2%, if that's your thing, that's your day trade kind of target, then yeah, you can get in and kind of make 7-8 cents or whatever it is. For right now it's 9 cents, but definitely do not pay more than $7 a share. So again, something to keep in mind. And then American Airlines did have their earnings and they are flopping down 6.47%. So I think this is more of a reoccurring thing for them, but shorts surprisingly are returning during the pre-market, 1.23 million. So maybe there's some attributing parts of their earnings that isn't all that bad, causing them to return, but 10.17% of the free floats being shorted works out to be 66.45 million shares overall are being shorted. If you are looking at trading it though with at 1192, it is trading between this R2 and this R1, so 1180 is going to be a strong support, so just watch for that. Because if not, then it could potentially kind of trend down to that 11.15. Not necessarily today, but of course over the couple of trading days. Flip side, 12.21 is going to be that key point. You really want to watch for it to fight and close above today. So this essentially is a very good example of kind of a breakdown in the technicals. So just watch for 11.80 or 12.21. Aside from that, that's pretty much what big money is doing today. Let me know your thoughts. What are you buying? What are you selling? What's your kind of viewpoint on kind of the market right now? So don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.